What page is this on?
So I'm freakishly tall. Lovely.
We're on page 3, Biggie.
Oh my god, I actually am. Yeah, maximum for both.
I am freakish. I am towering at about 10 feet tall, but yet I only weigh about 100 pounds. So I am an abomination.
So
The
much.
abomination of nature.
Slender Man.
Meanwhile, I'm basically a brick shithouse giant.
Okay, guys, we have to keep going on. There is breast rating, so it goes from delicious flat to E cup. Butt size.
I could die now.
To that shitty meme.
What shitty meme?
There's
It's
been a
this
lot.
picture. It's a picture of a donkey munching on a little girl's shirt.
You know,
God.
I wouldn't be shocked if he had that on his computer when it was rated.
I only know about it because I saw it on 1D4 channel once.
Okay, guys, we have the most important rating now. The penis length. Now we have to find out how big and wide our penises are now.
Hold on.
Penis length and
Well,
penis width
we
rating.
flip open the Discord so we can watch the atrocities happen live.
Hold on. Here's my rules
Gifted.
for my sexy character.
Got a bit of a needle dick there.
I gotta see what my beautiful character is.
Rolled okay too. I'm kind of on the short end.
Okay, my character is 10 to 11 feet tall.
God damn. I'll roll the stubber.
I rolled a short stub.
Also horribly thin.
So I made a giant, but it's an average weight. I just made an incredibly tall person.
Sorry about that, folks. It got knocked over by a bit of comedy.
We're all terrible people. But anyway, Biggie, would you like to read?
I would like to roll the penis too.
Okay, so where are we at? Because I just walked into this shit show. Vagina.
Skinny.
Scroll down to page 3 and go to.
No, I see it. Jesus Christ. I just walked in, dear viewers. I just walked into this shit after a hard day of work, and this is what I come to.
You're figuring out, Biggie. These are the important questions that need to be answered. How long and how wide is your dick?
Okay, so for vagina rating, that's what I'm seeing here.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what I'm looking at?
Yes.
Also asshole rating too.
Oh Christ! So number 1, you're a virgin. Number 2, you're jeez. Tight. 3, you get around, you whore. For 4, you're a whore. For 5, you're vaping and gaping, and for 6, you're a carnivorous cocksucking slut. For your ass, virginal ass. What the?
I knew it was the perfect opportunity to bring our local equivalent of a Texan from Canada here. I knew this would happen.
What the fuck?
And then we got our turn-ons. Oh, go on.
Tight ass. That's number 2. It's 3, experience. Which, I regret begging to come on the air now.
Turn-ons and turn-offs. These stats indicate what gets your character hot and bothered and what that kills the mood. AKA this game. Roll the die to establish your first category, then again to determine the rating of that turn-on. Then characters may roll 2 turn-ons and 1 turn-off. If dissatisfied with the results, or you want more control of your character, then ask nicely to your GM if you may choose your own. Turn-offs may not be selected, though. Okay, so the turn-ons are and turn-offs technically are butts, penises, length, quote, vaginas, anuses, and then body fluids and asterisk. Body fluids have no rating as far as turn-ons are concerned. One type of fluid is arousing as another.
I'm really starting to believe my skinny fat hypothesis is accurate given the bodily fluids category there.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh.
I wonder how many.
I feel like though for a thing like Fuck World that this table is too small. I thought this bastard would have like a D20 table. Like,
I'm
God,
actually kind of surprised by how small this is.
I'm honestly shocked that there's not more dead cats being pickled
No.
in formaldehyde under
No.
this fucking house.
No! No! Guys, I just skipped to page 5. Don't go there. It's there. Holy shit, it came back. It fucking came back.
What, dude?
You'll see when we get to 5. Just don't go there.
Oh. Oh!
Oh! Manage packages. Who wants to do that?
That's me then. These
I
packages
was-
further
okay.
tweak your stats and gameplay experience, but are totally optional. Short and stacked, your character is far under the average height for their age, but makes up for it in other areas. Oh god. Requires height rating of 1, weight rating of 2 or greater, breast rating of 2 or greater, butt rating of 3 or greater. Diminutive size makes you slipperier than most opponents, enabling you to
I hate
reroll the
this so much.
of any grapple performed on you with a second result standing. However, if ever successfully grappled, you are immediately held down and counted stunned for the next 2 turns. Okay. Trap. Your character not only sports an appearance closer to the opposite gender than their own, but actively encourages that perception. Requires a weight rating of 2 or less and a breast rating of 2 or less. Your thin, androgynous appearance puts all enemies at ease, allowing you to reveal your true gender as a free action, stunning all enemies within eyesight until the end of the following turn. However,
You fucking flashed your dick at him. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
However, your appearance also makes you extremely appealing to all enemies, and any lust damage done to you as a submissive is vigorous. See page 4. Vigorous fucking!
is there a difference between fucking and vigorous fucking though?
I don't know. I don't
I
want to
hate
know.
this game so much. I hate this game so much.
I don't want to know. Big and beautiful. Your character lacks physical prowess, but makes up for it with exaggerated sexual characteristics. Requires a height rating of 2 or greater, a weight rating of 3 or greater, and a strength of 2 or less. Your extra curvy body type puts a damper on any penetration and all dominant damage
it is
is
feeling
halved.
like fatal now.
However, your large size makes you easier to... Okay, grab. And all grapples performed on you automatically succeed. And all strokes caused by reading this have automatically succeed.
Oh,
Oh,
god.
no, I'm fucking shoving off the rest of that to others.
Hold
I don't want
Oh
to.
god, it's Lois! Lois!
I
Oh,
really-
no.
Your character's either through genetic accident or costly surgery appears much younger. Oh god. Ugh. Requires a height rating of 1. Sex rating. Your unsettlingly useful build enables you to confuse and arouse your enemies at the same time.
You're going to jail, motherfucker.
Actually, officer, she's a 900-year-old dragon, so it's not illegal.
Okay.
Meanwhile, in the Belmont Family Gazette, hideous sex pervert gunned down by police, rewarded with medal.
Kill me! I hate this so
Shut-
much.
Okay, let's continue on. Fuck doll. Your characters either through their own or someone else's effort turn themselves into a brainless fuck doll suitable for nothing else than to state others. Desire requires a television. Due to your extremely horny nature, you cannot be surprised since you're always ready to fuck. However, you must draw additional 3 turn-ons, and you always count as having 30 lust damage. Fuck machine through trading and
Oh, damn it.
That's my pick.
Damn it. I know how to end this, by the way. I will end it with clips of Fuckbot 5000 with this.
Through trading and possible genetic manipulation, your characters transform themselves into a fuck-hungry predator, always looking to bang anything that moves. Rape requires a height rating of 3 or greater, weight rating of 3 or less, and a strength of 4 or greater. Your strength training is paid off, and every time you grapple an opponent, you may roll a die. On a 5 or 6, they're automatically held down. However, due to your ego, any stuns to you last twice as long.
Oh god, we're in combat now.
I hate
Right.
this so much.
Do you need to leave,
I hate
man?
this so much. Oh, I have to stick. It's just so. It makes me want to vomit. Like, oh god.
It might be the jerk
Greg.
chicken you ate. Didn't you eat like a
Yeah.
pound of jerk chicken?
Yeah.
I think
might
that's,
have been it.
that's probably a fetish. Oh, it is. It's a fetish in South Korea.
You know what they say? More like jerk off. Am I right?
Why do you have to? Why does even jerk chicken have to be ruined now?
Pound of meat? Really?
Oh god. Oh. Woo! I almost passed out there again.
All right, Biggie, you want to get combat?
Yes. This is finally going to deliver on something I wanted that Stigmata never gave me.
I don't think you want what's going to happen.
Well, you know what? God damn it! I gotta find my needs somewhere else. God damn it! So if it has to be a shitty sex game, so be it.
That is so
Finally,
unfortunately
combat
worded.
Finally, combat in Fuck World is based around either knocking out your opponents or fucking them into an orgasmic haze. Firearms and other such ranged weapons.
Rape.
Firearms and other such ranged weapons have been banned on Earth for decades, so all combat is melee oriented. At the beginning of combat, everyone rolls a die, including the GM. What?
We were too lazy to make rules for range combat.
What range combat? God damn it!
How are you gonna rape somebody if they got hole full of? Oh well, no. Actually, I guess that just makes new holes for them. I guess.
No. You got to invent a gun that fires dildos.
No, what happens is you're very, very good. If you're a male character, you're very, very good at using your gun.
Was this written by somebody else who doesn't like the Second Amendment? Is this their ultimate, fantasy of making a?
I'm now honestly believing that the sex pervert who wrote this might have been a Euro cuck.
In the 23rd century, there's no guns, only fucking.
Truly, this is the darkest timeline.
No. Alright, the GM who rolls a die for every character he/she's role-playing. Whoever has the highest roll goes first. If more than one person such character has the highest roll, they roll the dice again until a winner has been determined. Combat then begins as normal. When rolling for any kind of damage, simply roll one die and multiply it by the modifier. At the beginning of each turn, characters have three options: flirt, attack, or grapple. Flirting, the character does something sexy in an attempt to reduce the opponent to a horny, mindless mess. Flirting deals 3d6 plus SNS lust damage to the opponent's lust. Filtering is usually done by shaking whatever you got, but there are several non-traditional methods. Using body fluid with an opponent inflicts 10 less damage. The first time it's used with an additional 10 less damage each time afterwards. For the SNS damage modifier, use the penis score for free cum, hand score for lactation, vag score for vaginal lubrication, and oral for spits. Oh my god. Dirty talk can be used to enhance an attacker as well. Use the flirted intelligence score for the SNS modifier. Oh, Jesus. Do you want me to take a break, or do you want me to go on?
I'd actually just like to point out something. This actually has rules for initiative, unlike Sigmata.
That feeling when the sex porn dungeon game has more rules in it than a real people book.
That for real people?
That's a good
They may be in
Does
maybe
Chad
in jail.
Walker count as a full real people?
Well, no,
I mean,
he's not.
Technically does.
Well, let's try to forget about Chad Walker. Let's focus on fucking. All right.
Let's focus on the
Walker
other type
counts
of
as
Chad.
two
Let's
people,
focus on the other type of Chad.
At least in mass. Alright, so who's going to continue? Because I can.
Randall needs to take it away with attacking.
Yeah. Attacking. The character throws a punch or kick in order to physically damage their opponent and either knock them out or stun them, making a potential grapple much easier. Attacking deals 1d4 plus strength physical damage to the opponent's stamina.
That's getting into some dark shit right there. People are into some fucking rough stuff.
Grappling. The character attempts to grab their opponent, either to make dealing damage easier or to fuck them. Grappling requires the attacker to roll 1d6 plus strength, and the target to roll 1d6 plus agility. If the attacker's roll is higher, the target is grappled. If the target's roll is higher, the grapple is avoided. If a roll is a tie, a fuck off begins.
Oh, for God's sakes.
I think that could be a title itself. A fuck off begins.
Is this the bastard son? Is this the bastard son of Fatal? That's my question.
It was.
Remember, it literally compared itself to Fatal at the beginning. As its less serious cousin. It's like like its less serious cousin.
The rape child of Fatal.
The depressing thing is the person who wrote this actually knows mechanics better than the guy who wrote Fatal.
If the opponent is stunned, the grapple succeeds automatically. Dodging and blocking. These actions can only be taken defensively while being attacked by another character. To dodge, the target makes a 1d6 plus agility roll, while the attacker makes an opposed 1d6 plus strength roll. Higher, the attack is dodged, and the target takes no damage. To block, both the attacker and the target make opposed 1d6 plus strength rolls. If the target rolls higher, they take 1/3 of the total attack damage, rounded down. If the attacker rolls higher, the target takes the full damage of the attack, plus 2 additional points of damage due to the block being broken.
Okay, this was my part, but I would like to skip the live action replay of describing of how someone's
Come on, we need that. Come on.
Yeah.
If you ain't
Hitting
doing it,
this-
I'm doing it in the Gilbert Gottfried voice. Do you really
Do
want
it.
that?
Do it.
I'll do
Yes.
it. Okay, I'll do it just so you don't do that. Regina is being attacked by a neon slaver. Regina is as flat as a board, but has an ass to die for. Rating 5. And the knowledge to use it. A score of 5 SNS. So she turns around and grabs the wall and wiggles like she's trying to make her ass fall off, dealing 3d6 plus 5 less damage to the neon slaver. She rolls for 6 for a total of 18, which climbs to 23 after the addition of her SNS bonus. She's also nailed a 6 on her damage roll, hitting the sweet spot and stunning the neon slaver. It's certainly Regina's lucky day because the neon slaver's turn on happens to be big butts, and he cannot lie, which means that he also takes double or less damage from this flirt. When all calculations are done, the neon slaver falls stunned on his ass after being hit with 46 lust damage, causing his cock to visibly strain against his dirty zipper-covered trousers.
Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, wait. Neon slavers. Is this Linkara's World Lightbringer?
Oh my
I
God.
think we figured out who the author really is.
Either that or the author is so unoriginal he stole from Ankara, of all people.
I like the idea that this is Linkara's project that he's been working on for years.
Wait. It does have the Futari stuff. It has the Futa and the Futari
He
stuff.
is a bit of a nasty cockslut. You gotta remember that.
God.
Anyway, I'm going to continue on. Hitting the sweet spot / the weak spot. During combat, rolling a 6 on a flirt or an attack has special ramifications. If a 6 is rolled on a flirt, the sweet spot is hit, and one of 2 things happen. If the flirt matches the opponent's turn on, the opponent automatically is stunned for 2 turns. If the flirt is not one of their turn-ons, he's still caught off guard, giving the attacker another opportunity for an action. If a 6 is rolled on an attack, then the punch, kick, whatever, has landed squarely where the opponent wished that it did not, causing him to double over in pain, taking double damage from the attack and stunning them indefinitely. What? At the beginning of each turn after, they may roll a die. On a roll of 3 or higher, they are no longer stunned, but must spend the rest of their turn collecting them spells. On a roll of 2 or lower, they remain stunned, rolling around on the ground, doubled over in agony. Maybe Regina's not so lucky because the neon slaver has caught up with her, his dick waggling around obscenely in his glowing junkyard armor. Coming out from behind an outhouse, he surprises Regina. Oh god, this is literally rape.
Yeah.
The neon slaver throws a punch and hits Regina squarely in the jaw. He doesn't hit very hard though because he only has a strength of 1. He deals 1d6 damage and rolls a 1, grand total of 2 damage, which brings Regina's high stamina from 25 to 23. It hurts a little more than a light slap, and Neon Slaver is visibly intimidated by her eyes narrow. Okay, so the rapist was such a bitch he couldn't even. Oh god, this is.
Okay.
No, can I please not describe any more attempted rapes?
No, you should. Go on further.
Well, actually, it's been a while since. Let's see, who has not gone in a while?
Who hasn't gone?
I don't think
Is
you
it-
have,
is it-
and I don't think Randall has.
Randall, you
Right,
take grappling. You take grappling. I'm going to take fucking. Damn it.
Right, let's go with grappling. With the gonna zoom on the lovely image that is so helpfully censored. It's a picture of a butt.
Wait a minute, that's just not any butt. That's the butt from Stigmata!
Grappling and
It came
opponent.
back!
The seeds that you have sown have germinated.
Angry ass is back. It wants
Who
revenge.
censored this?
Grappling an opponent, getting grappled yourself, opens up a whole new world of possibilities in the fuck world. It lets you take combat to a more intimate level. It lets you go professional wrestling on their ass. And most importantly, it lets you get fucking. Though we'll get to that later. In grappling and fucking, the attacker is referred to as the dominant/dom, and the defender is referred to the submissive/sub. When grappling, both the dom and the sub have certain actions available to them, only one of which they may take a turn. The dominant may fuck channel. The dom fucks the sub, dealing less damage to the dom and sub.
Jesus.
See the next section for more details. Hold down. Channeled. The dom maneuvers the sub's body into an easier to control position, attaching a staffing -1 penalty each turn to any attempt by the sub to escape at the cost of 2 stamina per turn after the initial use. Attack. Sometimes you don't want to fuck somebody. Sometimes you just want to punch them in the face repeatedly. The dom hits the sub, but only deals half of the 1d6 strength damage rounded down. Throw. Sometimes punching someone in the face repeatedly isn't enough. Sometimes you want to German suplex them through a flaming table. This attack deals 2d6 strike damage and releases both combatants from the grapple. The dom must hold down the sub in order to execute a throw. Release. The dom lets the sub go. Why would you do this?
What a rapist.
The submissive may escape. The sub attempts to break out of the grapple. If the sub and dom both roll 1d6 plus strength. If the sub rolls higher, they push the dom off. If the dom rolls higher, the escape is unsuccessful. Currently held down, she must pass one struggle test to break from the hold, and a second one to break from the grapple completely. Attack. The sub fights back against the dom, inflicting damage as if it were a regular combat attack. The sub cannot attack, is stunned, or being held down. Block. The sub raises their arm, attempting to block the dom's attack. This functions in the same way as blocking regular combat. Oh boy, here it comes. Reverse. The sub attempts to turn the tables on the dom and take control of the situation. The sub and dom both take opposing 1d6 plus agility tests. If the sub wins, she rolls the dom over, switching positions and causing the new sub to be held down. If the dom wins, the reverse was unsuccessful. The sub may attempt to reverse a throw as well. The dom and the sub takes opposing 1d6 agility test. If the sub wins, the dom takes 2d6 strength damage instead of the sub. If the dom is stunned, a reverse succeeds automatically. So one thing I noticed is it doesn't say who wins in a tie.
I think you
Just keep
read it over
going.
again.
Okay, guys, we're gonna get down to the big deal of how to do this thing. Fucking the meat.
You avoided. Hey, don't avoid the story.
Yeah, Randall, finish the damn story.
Regina's had about enough of this neon slaver, and she sucks him right in the nose. She rolls a 5, dealing 10 damage because of her 5 strength rating, which knocks the slaver stunned on his ass. Again. Pain threshold. During combat, if a single attack exceeds half its target's maximum stamina, the target is stunned for the next turn.
Hey guys, I know it's blocked, but clearly it looks like 2 superheroes getting the fuck on. The meat, if you will, of fuck world combat is about fucking two mortals locked in an epic battle inside one of the. So what is this, like more combat? But instead we're going to fuck each other. Test your might. Test your might.
Finally, I can do my dreams of fucking
Finish him.
Melina.
Finish him.
Oh God. Fucking can only occur.
Finish it.
Fucking can only occur once. Opponent has been successfully grappled. Less damage is dealt both the dominant and sub based on their respective stats. Fucking is considered a channeled action that takes place during grappling, so a new certain actions become available while fucking. In addition to previous grapple actions, the dom may fuck, a sexual activity that deals 1d6 plus sex lust damage to the sub, and 3d6 plus sex lust damage to the sub. The sex modifier takes in value whichever orifice member are in of use. Fillate. The dom goes down with the sub, performing oral sex and dealing 1d oral lust to the sub, but no lust damage to the dom. Masturbate, a sexual activity that deals only 1d6 hand lust damage to the sub, but no lust damage to the dom. The dom may masturbate as many orifices as they have hands, dealing further 1d6 lust damage.
She's becoming dumb.
Changing position. The dom repositions to take advantage of different parts of the sub's body. This reduces the dom and sub's lust damage by 5. This must be performed when switching between fucking, filleting, and masturbating. Mouth fuck. The dom rams the sub into his or her own organ, forcing the sub to fillet the dom. This deals 3d6 plus oral lust damage to the dom and 3d6 sex damage to the sub. Kiss. The dom locks lips with the sub, further increasing the sensuality of the experience. The damage rolls 1d while the sub makes a 1d6 intelligence to roll against it. If the dub wins, the sub is stunned until the following turn. If the sub wins, the dub finds themselves turned on instead, taking 1d6 oral lust damage from the sub that turn. Stimulate, channel, at the cost of 2 stamina per turn. But after additional cast, is fuck magic? The dom can further stimulate their sub with their hands, dealing d6 lust damage.
I hope that this person's insane enough to include magic, because we need this in the setting. No, we don't, but come on.
It's magical realms to the fullest.
We need Crowleyan sex magic.
God, it's so wordy. Ugh, words sound. Stimulate. The sub attempts to get the dom off faster using her hands, dealing 1d6 hand lust damage to the dom. The sub cannot use this if held down. Kiss. The sub locks lip with the dom, trying to catch the guard in a tender moment. The sub rolls d6 plus oral, while the d6 intelligence against it. If the sub wins, the dom is sub. We've already covered this shit.
So, hey, Biggie, you're up next. You're up next. You get to read the story.
Come on, Biggie, take us away.
Well, you also have reversing while fucking, and since you guys tried to duck out of it, if the sub successfully reverses while being fucked, he/she gets an additional action that same turn along with the other results.
Well, I don't know. This is my greatest dream or my greatest nightmare is what I'm reading here.
It's both.
Yeah, you're right. As the neon slaver hits the ground, stars and Tweety birds circle around his head, and his rusty zipper finally gives way. His 8-inch kook. It's still hard, flop 3. Regina is pretty worked up by now and decides that instead of running off like a smart person, it would be an awful pity to leave a dick like that unfucked. Without another word.
This is how humans act.
Without another word, she tears her pants off and hops on top of the slaver, who is still stunned. She immediately holds him down, hell-bent on making sure he does not get away. Oh, God. The slaver is still stunned from her punch, can't even struggle. On her next turn, Regina begins to bounce up and down on the slaver's kook, dealing 1d6 plus slaver's experienced kook rating of 4 plus damage to herself, and 3d6 plus her relatively inexperienced bag rating of 2 to the neon slaver as he regains consciousness and moans under her. She spends 2 stamina to maintain the hold, reducing her stamina from 230 to 21, and rolls 4 and a 5 respectively, making the total 9 loss damage to herself and 17 loss damage to the neon slaver, whose total launch damage rises to 63. The neon slaver, suddenly not feeling so hot about the idea of rape, attempts to push.
I changed my mind. I made a mistake. Help!
Jesus. You know, I got to tell you, this is why we need men's rights. Goddammit. You know, they laugh about us on the internet. Goddammit, but this is why we need it.
Also, I think we probably should have put this at the beginning, but the dice Scum does not condone rape. I just feel like we need to get that through.
Fuck no.
The dice Scum, however, is a big proponent of men's rights activism.
Fuck no. We're about to kick you now.
Oh.
Go back to your fedora collection that you, the collection of fedora that you made out of squirrels that you caught.
Go back to blaming women for your crippling malformations of the personality cortex you call a brain.
You know, listen, just because, just that one time I showed the brain cell subreddit, you guys get on me. I swear to God, just one time, guys.
Okay,
All right, the neon slaver, who's total attempts to push Regina off. He rolls 1d6 plus 1 with a roll of 1 plus -1, and Regina rolls a 1d6 plus 5 with a roll of 2. Regina's result of 7 utterly crushes the neon slaver's result of 1, which is reduced by 1 because he's held down status. Grinding her hips and moaning with ecstasy, Regina continues the fook the neon slaver, dealing 8 and 11 loose damage, respectively, bringing her total to 17 and his to 74. Slaver then attempts to escape again and rolls 4 this time, but suffers a -2 penalty this time because he is being held down for 2 turns, costing Regina another 2 stamina, making his result to 3, lose again to Regina's result of 4. Oh God, vigorous fooking. After 2 turns of fooking, if the sub has not been able to escape from the dominant and the dom remains the same position, the dom begins to work into a rhythm and causes vigorous damage, which doubles the sex bonus added to the dice roll. Regina begins to bounce up and down like a jackhammer. While the neon slaver grooms incoherently, feeling himself pulled over the edge. Regina rolls a 4 for the slaver and a 2 for herself and takes 4 loose damage, and the neon slaver takes vigorous damage, causing a total of 12 to get a +4 sex bonus instead of a 2, jacking it up to 16. Oh God, jacking.
Mm-hmm.
Regina Lust climbs up to 21 while the neon slaver is at 90. Previously perilously close to orgasm.
You know what's hilariously sad? They actually vaguely give you an idea on what the lust damage cap is, too.
You know what else, too? I think I can... You see that little, that Jake Paul right there? I think that's my face right now.
I think
Hey, Jake Paul.
The Potu's face, that's the bird right there, has been my face for about, I don't know, the last hour.
It's better than the actual image, which is an asshole being violated by multiple purple alien cocks.
So anyway, teaming up, and I'm going to do this one since it's been a while. As it happens in real life, sex is often not just a two-player game. Oftentimes, you'll face threats that are too great for one fuck alone. And when that happens, you'll have to jump in with your party and get off with the rest of them.
Oh.
This is just, imagine if this is what the original Avengers turned into. We gotta assemble a team of our top superheroes, and it just fucking degenerates into this.
Well, I'm sure there was an Avengers porn parody somewhere.
The Incredible Hulk. They don't call it the Incredible Hulk for nothing.
Take cover as the radioactive jizz punches a hole through concrete.
No.
I feel nothing but hate! Hate!
Thanos snaps his fingers, but instead of killing everybody, it makes everybody's clothes come off.
Half of their clothes come off, and they have become pledged to Thanos. I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark.
Half of the world. Half the world.
Worry, Peter. Don't worry, Peter. I'll be sure to comfort you.
Oh no! Oh.
To help. Oh.
When a third or fourth combatant enters the fray, things can get complicated, which is why the Dom subtitles apply to combatant teams instead of just two characters. When one character becomes the Dom, the opposing characters are considered the subs, and vice versa. Fred and Jake, two human teenagers with attitude, attempt to assault Shuga, a Ythornian matron on her way back from the grocery store. Jumping out from behind a dumpster like all 1980s gangster stereotypes high on drugs, they surprise and grab the plump tentacle creature, quickly pulling her back into the dark alley. In a moment, her garments are pushed aside, and the two young boys are balls deep in her two vaginas, both of them in control and dealing 3d6 plus their virgin rating of 1 lust damage to her, while her vaginas deal 1d5 plus her highly experienced rating of 7 lust damage to both of the boys. Fred and Jake roll a 1 and 2 respectively, while Shuga rolls a 5. Fred deals 3 less damage, Jake deals 7, and Shuga deals 12 to both. More actions. Generally, characters only get 1 action per turn. However, in a group setting, Doms get an action to deal with every character they are interacting with. When a sub or subs pull off a reversal, the opponents become the new subs, no matter how many there are. When attempting a reversal in a group, the sub-team attempting the reversal must roll higher than the Dom team.
I think I'm supposed to do this now since it's been a while since I've done.
Either that or Randall.
Greg, you want to go?
Just want to get this over with because all I'm beginning to feel is hate and contempt. More amused by the boys' attentions than threatened, Shuga attempts to reversal on her turn. Unbeknownst to the two truants, she was once an exotic dancer at Tentacle Drakes and has a high agility of 9. She attempts a reversal, rolling a 4 with an end result of 13. The boys, being teenagers, are relatively quick on their feet, so they have a high rating of 4, but with lots of rolling, they only get 9 and 8 that don't beat her 13. She begins to undulate, causing both to fall on their knees in pleasure. Since she successfully reversed while fucking, she also gets a free action on their would-be assailants. She chooses to stimulate both of them, slipping a tentacle into each of their asses and putting pleasure on their prostates, dealing 1d6 plus their expert Hans skill of 8, and rolls a 3, dealing 11 less damage to both the boys, raising their total to 23 as they rather helplessly. I'm gonna be honest, just reading all this, it seems like these combat rounds are just long endurance matches that I guess they sound boring as fuck to play, actually.
Well,
you have
from
to
what I understand, Fatal's kind of the same way from the few mad bastards who actually played it.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think the fun of this is supposed to be from, like, your disgusting group, just like going into agonizing detail as your DM furiously masturbates from the description.
Well, if I
This
Oh
is
my
just
god,
for-
could you imagine if all of us were playing this game, how uncomfortable this would be?
oh, it's
God.
already
You're kidding me?
uncomfortable.
No, like just imagine your average gaming group and how uncomfortable it would be playing something like this with them. Bunch of fat, greasy, or skinny fat neckbeards trying to wade through these rules, talking about either dealing less damage or vigorously fucking.
Oh God, Biggie, this is what the table went to whenever you were playing Fred in the Japanese.
No, we're not going to go into detail. God damn it!
I will say this though. I will say this. That I have a far better solution if you want to actively piss off your gaming group. My solution, for example, was Marcelo the Mime. Jester, whose entire shtick was not talking. I very quickly got out of that because that was a bit of a fuck you. Because in a game where socialization's a big thing, an angry antisocial mime that actively is designed to piss people off, not a good option for a group. If you want to piss people off, you come up with characters like that and then get kicked out because you're being a disruptive shit. I mean, you could just do the same with this because they'd instantly know to kick you out, but...
That's a good bye, good riddance.
Especially if you brought it non-ironically.
Okay,
no,
winning the fight.
Oh god, sorry.
In the fight, all good things must come to an end, and there are several different conditions in which combat ends in Fuck World. When a character's stamina reaches 0, that character's knocked out and unable to participate for the rest of the combat encounter. If the damage reaches 100 or less damage, 50% of her stamina is restored and her less damage is reduced to 0. If the sub's above 80 less damage, the sub receives 100 less damage first, then she is knocked out, assumedly being used as a fuck toy even more.
So here's the thing. Notice that it benefits the rapists. They don't get knocked out when they get to 100. They actually get a bonus for that.
They get to keep going until the player is just done with it.
Until the player comes in their pants. It's like, all right, good session, guys. Just wanders off.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. This was kind of funny at first, but as it went on and on, all I legitimately feel was actual hatred and contempt.
Don't worry, Greg. It's
I
just a
read
game.
this.
So, what would you guys rate just y.pdf?
This is technically playable, but if I found anyone playing this, I would legitimately just punch them. No explanation. Just fuck you. Get out of here.
I rate this 89 fatwas out of 100. I want 80.
In the words of Jay Bauman from Red Letter Media, very cool.
This is playable, but why you would want to play it, I don't know why, but it's out there for people that want to get it. It's free, I think.
It still has simpler and more intuitive rules than Sigmata.
Yeah, if I had to be serious, the fatwa thing is still partly serious, but it is playable. There is a coherent role system inherent in the game where Sigmata almost has none. That alone makes it a better game, which is fucking disgusting.
All right, so you
wait, fucking disgusting. Is this a double? Is this was that meant on purpose?
Alabaster,
no, it wasn't.
Alabaster, no, enough. Like, let's not give this thing Let's not give this game any respect.
So I have a question to ask then. So let's say you have a choice between, or else God's going to smite you down if you don't make a choice, or you have a choice between two weirdos. One's wearing a Beretta and a black block T-shirt, wanting you to play Stigmata, and another is a weirdo that smells of body odor and has a Japanese meme team shirt and says, "Hey, let's play this."
Sigmata.
The reason why, Becky, you forgot. We can veto things, and we can be an asshole at the table.
Technically, if God was asking me who I'd rather kill, I'd kill the fat anime weeb.
Oh, so you would kill yourself, Greg?
No, not really.
Yeah.
No, because unlike that fat anime I'm actually conscious of how terrible I am as a human being.
Let's just say that if faced with the concept of snapping the fat anime weeb out of existence, I would happily do it, even though I probably would be taken with them.
I don't feel so good.
Senpai, I don't feel so good. Oh, yeah.
I think we need a palate cleanser for this palate cleanser that's actually good.
Yeah.
Something that's fun, something that's good, but janky and funny. What is that? What is that, guys? Could you help me out
Thank
with
you
it?
for that forced lead-in, because I have one of the originals in terms of tabletop experience. For those wondering, I got Traveler, the science fiction adventure in the far future. It's only a little bit newer than D&D. This came out probably about 2 years after the actual not the actual first edition, that was a little older, but first edition. It's around that time period. And
I thought you said. I thought you said Traveler came out before D&D, or am I remembering this shit wrong?
first edition proper it did, but the minis game was before that. Yeah, fun fact, Dungeons & Dragons had a minis game a couple of years before first edition was finalized.
OD&D.
Yeah.
When it was like the really old school janky stuff.
So with that, let's see if you guys can actually have what it takes to be a proper traveler that can go on business adventures, because that's what a lot of this game is.
Wait. So what you're saying is, with the game, we go on business. What the hell is this? I don't want to go to space, so I have to roll all this stuff just so I can go to space Hong Kong?
No, that's too high. You're going to space Atlantic City.
No, that's still too high. It's Space Hoboken.
Oh no,
Oh, God.
it's still a little too upscale. It's Space Biloxi.
Oh, if you
Space
know garbage,
Wisconsin.
Space Camden. Not even an argument. Okay. So there are 6 stats for each character, and the system works on I believe, let me see. You roll 2 dice. It is 2 6-sided dice, and I don't believe you actually get any point buys. So let's see what you guys get.
Alright, we should probably do this in turns. So, Al, you want to roll first?
Okay, so I roll 2d6.
Yep, it is a 2d6 system. So.
I don't get any bonuses for them.
Oh no, this is just your general stats. So let's see how swole you are. 12, that's actually very swole. Very physically impressive.
Strong.
Dexterity, that is how coordinated you are. 7 is considered average, so you're not clumsy. You're about your average guy. 8, which is a slight notch above normal, that's intelligence. It corresponds vaguely to IQ, so you're a little bit above normal. Maximum education, that's actually good, because to advance in society, you do need a high education value.
So what you're saying
Don't
is...
don't forget endurance.
Wait a minute. The way this is going... I'm
endurance here. You actually have the makings of a good character. I hope he doesn't die. And congratulations, this actually explains perfectly why you're so well educated. You have such a high social standing that you would count essentially as a landed knight.
I like the fact that...
does exist.
Wait a minute, I've rolled the character equivalent of the rich college frat boy. Holy shit.
So let me mark these down, and so you get an idea of the system. And you're going to love how that we track stats. You're going to start hating me right about now. Yep. Am I missing anything? Education, oh, I forgot endurance. Can you roll that? Apologies for that. And you have above average endurance. That's actually quite good.
Wait, did I roll up Senator Armstrong?
Okay, so this is your current stat block, dude.
What?
Oh, fun fact. Since we're dealing with numbers between 1 and 15, the system uses hexadecimal.
Oh no.
So that
Oh.
reads, if I'm getting my numbers right, 12, 7, 8, 8, 12, and then 11.
There I go. Mind if I roll just for what laughs?
Mhm. Okay, so slightly above average strength, nothing super impressive. Very dexterous, high, very mobile. Very, you have good endurance, very good endurance. Dumb as a brick, though. But surprisingly decently educated, a little better than your average guy. You worked hard. And hilariously, your social standing's pretty high, but not up to the noble. You'd probably come from a well-to-do family. So the stat blocks for you would be...
I know what I can do. I know what I can do. I'm not. I know that I'll never be a scientist, but what I can do it decently well.
And this would be your stat block.
Disgusting.
Take it away, Biggie.
All right. Well,
We
you
actually
need me to
have
roll?
some good skeletons for characters here. It's going to be sad to
Yeah.
watch them die.
All right.
Oh, I shouldn't have spoiled that.
Roll 1d. And what do I roll
Two.
again? A 1d
Two.
what?
It's
2d,
2D.
2d6, baby.
All right. 2d6.
Let's see how
I will
strong
just
you are.
copy that.
Pretty strong.
I should just like copy that and just constantly paste it.
Roll 1d.
Nope,
Two.
2d6.
Oh my god, I fucked that up.
God damn it, Biggie.
Your character immediately explodes into cacophony of insanity. No, that would be very dexterous. So we have some nimble hands on deck here.
1d. I know. Fuck.
Very, very intelligent. We got the brains of this operation, it looks like. Oh no, that's endurance. You can keep going for miles. Apologies for that. A little bit on the dim side, but not like noticeably so. Still well within average. I don't need no fucking education, so you're not very healthy.
Weak and
Oh,
sickly, and
A little bit on the
dumb.
dim side. Not hideously, but probably in the mid to high 90s. You at least graduated high school and maybe have a bit of college under the belt.
And social standing.
Are you a soy boy?
Lol, cow. So, this is your
One.
stat lineup.
There's always one. There's always one.
Okie dokie. Now we're kind of seeing why Traveler's system is a bit janky, given how, cruel it is. So let me get the characters in a line, because I'm gonna tell you right now, most of you are not going to survive.
Yeah, I know.
Let me just get them in a line so that they can be executed by firing line.
Oh.
No,
Firing-
you'll understand what I mean.
Russian roulette firing line.
Okie dokie. So these are the stats in total. And now that we have that, you have the skeletons, but you are dummies that have no skills whatsoever to survive in these here woods. So, with that in mind, you have to enlist in one of 6 services to gain the skills needed to pay the bills.
Sure.
There are 6 services. There's the Navy, the Marines, the Army, Scouts, Merchants, and, well, other.
I'll go with the scouts.
Okay, so, well, actually, here's the thing, though. You have to roll for that.
Hey, what's the roll?
For you, let me look. 1 second. There's also an aging table that comes into play, but, okay, so you're going for the Scouts, right?
Correct.
Okay, 2d6. You need a 7 or better to see if you enlist. Congratulations,
Hey.
your original service. You are officially part of the Scouts. Okay. So let's go with who wants to try service next.
I mean, is there one that is there like a career path that's more better for like one skill type you have, or is it? I'm just so
These give
curious
you
here.
skills. These give you
These
skills.
are what give you your skills. Yep.
Oh,
So, do you have anything in particular you want to join? If not, you can just join the draft.
I'm going to try to join the Marines.
Wait,
Okay,
what
so
roll does he
let's
need
see.
to roll?
Okay, your number is 9 or better.
Damn
You
it.
just washed out, so it looks like you're joining the draft. You were not an enlisted man. Just roll a d6, and that'll determine the service you get. You did not make it to the Marines, but the Army will take you.
Much like the real life.
Biggie, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna guess my character is a bit of a ne'er do well who's not the like didn't get necessarily that good of an education, but has skills and has untapped potential. And I think I'm going to go with like a mercenary pass, and that looks like an army because such individuals may also be mercenaries for hire. So let's do an army roll.
Okay, your challenge is it's the easiest one to get into. You need a 5 or
6.
better.
Oh, and that's a 2d6.
2d6, yes. You actually somehow managed to fuck up and flunk out of the army.
God damn it!
You don't like all that discipline.
One
D6.
1d6, man.
This here the draft shows you.
Hilariously, the army just accepts you anyway as a part of the draft.
What?
Yes!
What?
Yup.
What happened?
You got accepted in the draft. They needed more bodies. You're basically forced during times of emergency. You'd be what you'd be essentially reserves.
Steve Rogers.
Last but
What the
not
fuck just happened? I want to go to the group, but I'm the.
Let's see where does your little pencil neck want to go?
I'm gonna try to join the army.
You should try. Wait, actually, what's other? What's other? Speaking of which,
other is actually the lowest recruitment bar. It's just you get less you just get less things.
Screw it. Let's go with other.
Wait, by the way, I just realized something. This is newbie DM to the Traveler system. There are modifiers that help you. So let me look, because Al, you failed by 1, right?
Yeah.
Your intelligence is 8.
Yeah.
You actually did succeed in making it to into the army.
The
Into
Marines.
yes. Because you get a dice modifier of 1, and +2 if you also have strength, which you clearly do.
he did not have the int for that, so.
Well,
Let's see.
you were looking for our what was it, army? Yeah, no, he would make it anyway because he had the endurance bonus and he only failed by 1, so he's not a part of the draft.
That too, though. That too.
Oh, yeah, he didn't fucking make it then.
I don't even have a job. I'm living in my parents' basement.
Okay.
Let's see where the draft takes you.
So this is let's see what the draft takes you. In the Marine draft, Marine trained teen.
I need to paint my laser pistol gold.
Now,
wait. This is Virgin and Chad has entered the Marine Corps.
Now here's the best part, by the way, guys. Now you have to roll a survival to see if you fucking live through this stint of service.
Oh boy.
Oh god.
So
Okay, since I went first before, I'll go first again. Or Biggie, do you want to go?
No. I forgot that thing's typing. I was just getting the pre-roll. You go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to butt in myself.
So you have an endurance of 9 and better, Greg. So you need a 6 or better. It would be a 7 or better, but you got lucky. Oh no, you're dead. You die horribly during a scouting mission. Those damn old Rocky fucking just blew your brains out.
So because I have an endurance of 11, what does that mean for me?
Endurance of 11, and you went into the army draft. Okay, fun fact. Yours is actually education, and you definitely have an education better than 6. No, you actually have an education worse than 6.
Oh, fuck.
You need a 5 or better.
Why do I need an education for the army? What the fuck is this?
Because they're trying to make you into something.
So 2d6? Okay.
You
Hey!
happily live through that.
What about me?
Marines need or have a survival of 6 or better, but since you have an endurance of 8 and better, roll 5 or better and you'll live.
Yeah.
Yep, so one Marine, and now Jace.
Come on, little sweet bastard, survive.
I'm hoping he does, honestly. Yes! Yes!
Through a mixture of sheer luck and stupidity, I somehow survive.
You
I
somehow
like to think that
survived
I'm
the
helping you
instance.
along.
That's how we met.
Let me copy. So because of that, you actually get, since this is your first stint in your chosen field, you get to pick between 2 skills for each of you. Except Greg, you died. Sorry, man.
So 2 skills?
Yep. So for the army, your skills are. Let me very quickly look. The army, you have a choice between adding some strength. No, that you get personal develop. You can pick between personal development of adding strength, dex, endurance, or adding skills in gambling, brawling, vehicle, air and raft, gun. Gun being CBT, I believe that's like a main vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Forward observer, blade, which would be a sword. Marines get vehicles, vac suits, blades, guns, blade, gun, and can pick between strength, dex, and endurance too. They're very similar. It's just Marines get vac suits as an option instead of air and raft.
So what were the armies again? Just so you could say that.
You have a pick between +1 strength, +1 to dex, +1 to endurance. The gambling skill, +1 to education, +1 to brawling. Brawling being a skill, as is gambling. You also can pick, in terms of service skills, vehicle, which means you can drive it. Air and raft, which is basically aircraft and I believe small craft in the water.
Would you, Alablast or anybody, would you, because I might take driving if you guys don't want to do anything like flying-wise.
I was going to do the driving.
Okay,
well,
I'll
I'm
do.
dead, so I don't know what I'll be doing.
I'll be a pilot, and what else do we have?
So you're picking air and raft. So
Yep.
that's surface craft, by the way.
Yeah.
And the other options are blade, which is a weapon, like a melee, and 2 types of guns. Forward observers, which is scouting, essentially.
And the other? What's the other type of gun?
There's just 2 types of guns, so it's just the same thing. So my guess is gun CBT just means you get to pick what type of gun you want to use.
All right, gun.
So that could be your main rifle, sidearm, machine heavy weapon emplacement, that sort of thing.
All right. Just choose like a regular gun, like a standard, service rifle or something.
Okay, so army draft. So you have army draft. You picked up the skills of air. Skills air and service rifle. So you actually get a dice bonus to that. So Al and Randall, since you're both Marines, you can pick to improve your strength, your dex, your endurance. You can pick up gambling, brawling, and blades as skills. You can pick up vehicle, vac suits. That's basically vac suits are you ever see in certain sci-fi settings where they actually have like seamen in space where they board? It's vacuum suits that you use to essentially do boarding actions and assaults.
And so spacemen are. Oh, so do we get a choice of 2 then?
You pick 2. You actually can get more choices, but I'll have to explain it later. I just want to get your 2.
I'm going to choose vac suits, and I'm going to get a +1 to my endurance.
Kill. And what about you, Jace?
I'm choosing gambling and blades.
Alright.
Oh God, you are
I'm surprised you didn't go with the deagle.
That's what I spent my time in the Marines doing. Gambling and studying the blade.
That means you know how to use the standard bayonet that's often used for close quarters combat. Let me make sure that endurance is the 3rd stat, I believe. So yours is now 9. Okay, so the current step is this. Do you want to try a new character, Greg, or is this going to be our one-off here?
Honestly, I was just getting bored, just kind of sitting here silently. So I don't know, just something to do.
Do you want to try? So this is after the first round. You quickly roll it up, and as you do that, I will actually explain what we next do. Commissions. Which, if I remember right, let me just scroll back up because I don't have perfect memory. Commissions. I'm just trying to quickly find it. Okay, I skipped past it like a dodo. Okay, a commission number. In order to be commissioned as an officer, they must throw the stated number. Okay, so basically, this is your attempts to get a rank, like a rank beyond just shit-ass private. And let's see. Did you decide to roll up anything, Greg? No. Okay.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. I'm just doing another chat.
Okay.
We're recording.
Well, you can just tell me the score, but you can tell me.
7-11, 7-11, 7-5, 7-7.
So yours is 7.
Sorry, I'm late.
11.
I had some other stuff going on.
What's going on?
Who?
Oh, it's a weirdo.
Oh
Like
yeah,
it's
we're
Texas.
currently in the middle of watching people die during Traveler Creation. Random guest who is right here.
Look at
Oh,
this
shit.
idiot. He
Let me
just
join
walks in. No, get out of here.
Okay,
Ready
so
for it?
the 7 character